In the vast expanse of the universe, where stars burned like ancient lanterns and planets drifted in cosmic currents, there existed a realm known only to whispers among Earth's astronomers. A shimmering world called Zelora orbited a binary star system at the edge of an uncharted galaxy, its atmosphere glowing with hues of violet and gold. It was here that Princess Naira of the House of Valon lived, a being whose beauty transcended human comprehension, her skin radiant with an opalescent sheen and eyes that sparkled like twin galaxies. The royal palace of Zelora floated above crystalline seas, its spires reaching toward the heavens like frozen lightning bolts. Within these celestial halls, Naira had grown up surrounded by luxury and duty, her days filled with lessons in interstellar diplomacy and quantum governance. Yet beneath the weight of her responsibilities lay a soul yearning for something beyond the structured perfection of her world. She often found herself gazing through the palace's transparent walls, watching as meteor showers painted streaks of silver across the indigo sky, wondering what mysteries lay beyond her people's carefully controlled borders. Zelora itself was a marvel of biological engineering, each element of its ecosystem meticulously balanced through millennia of advanced science. The planet's surface hosted floating gardens where gravity-defying flora danced on invisible currents, their petals releasing melodies when touched by sunlight. Beneath these ethereal landscapes flowed rivers of liquid light, powering the entire civilization through organic fusion processes that Earth scientists could barely comprehend. The Zelorians themselves were no less extraordinary, their bodies composed of both matter and energy, allowing them to manipulate their physical forms with graceful precision. Yet despite their technological prowess and evolved physiology, the Zelorians faced challenges that even their sophisticated medicine couldn't overcome. An ancient curse, whispered about in hushed tones during ceremonial gatherings, threatened their royal lineage. Every generation, the firstborn princess would fall victim to a mysterious ailment that slowly drained their life force, manifesting in symptoms that defied conventional treatment. The current court physicians had tried everything from quantum resonance therapy to cellular resequencing, but nothing seemed to halt the inevitable decline. As Naira approached her 25th cycle, the age when previous princesses had begun showing signs of the affliction, her parents watched with growing anxiety. Her mother, Queen Mirala, spent countless hours in the royal archives, searching for any clue that might break the cycle. Her father, King Solvar, convened emergency sessions with the Council of Stars, seeking solutions from every corner of their empire. Meanwhile, Naira continued her duties with quiet determination, refusing to let fear dictate her actions, though she occasionally caught herself studying her reflection more closely, searching for any sign of change in her normally luminous complexion. The morning it began, Naira had been overseeing the blooming ceremony in the celestial gardens, where bioluminescent flowers synchronized their blossoming to create intricate patterns visible from space. As she raised her hand to initiate the final sequence, a sudden wave of dizziness washed over her. The world tilted alarmingly, and she found herself clutching a crystalline railing, her vision swimming with unexpected darkness. The attending courtiers rushed forward, their translucent forms rippling with concern, but Naira waved them away with a weak smile, attributing her momentary weakness to fatigue. Over the following weeks, the symptoms grew more pronounced. Her once vibrant energy dimmed like a star approaching supernova, her movements becoming increasingly sluggish. During diplomatic meetings, she found herself struggling to maintain focus, her thoughts scattering like stardust in a solar wind. The most alarming development came one evening while practicing her light dancing ritual, a traditional art form where Zelorians manipulated their energy signatures into complex patterns. As she attempted a particularly intricate sequence, her form flickered and destabilized, nearly causing her to lose cohesion entirely. The royal medical team worked tirelessly, surrounding her with diagnostic fields that pulsed with rainbow-colored energy. Their instruments detected an unusual degradation in her quantum signature, as if some fundamental aspect of her being was unraveling at the subatomic level. Traditional treatments proved ineffective. Even the most advanced healing crystals failed to stabilize her condition. The palace corridors buzzed with whispered theories, from ancient prophecies to forgotten scientific anomalies, but none offered a viable solution. Queen Mirala's research eventually led her to an obscure archive buried deep within the palace's foundations. There, etched into a crystal tablet older than recorded history, she discovered references to a phenomenon known as dimensional resonance collapse. According to the ancient text, this rare condition occurred when a being's quantum essence became misaligned with their native dimension, causing a gradual dissolution of their physical form. More disturbingly, the tablet suggested that the only known cure involved exposure to completely foreign dimensional energies, something that couldn't be replicated within Zelorian technology. The revelation sent shockwaves through the royal family. For centuries, Zelorian society had maintained strict isolationist policies, believing their advanced civilization superior to others. The idea of seeking help from another species, especially one from a primitive world like Earth, seemed unthinkable. Yet as they watched their daughter grow weaker by the day, the king and queen found themselves contemplating unprecedented measures. The challenge lay not just in overcoming cultural taboos but in identifying someone capable of understanding and addressing such a fundamentally alien condition. On Earth, Dr. Ethan Carter had built his reputation on solving medical mysteries that baffled others. Working out of a modest clinic in San Francisco, he specialized in rare diseases and experimental treatments, his office walls adorned with certificates and thank-you letters from patients who had nowhere else to turn. His latest project involved developing nanotechnology-based therapies for genetic disorders, work that had earned him recognition in scientific circles worldwide. Yet despite his professional success, Ethan carried a quiet loneliness, his dedication to medicine leaving little room for personal connections. The call came on a rainy Tuesday afternoon, disrupting his routine examination of patient files. A secure video link established itself on his computer screen, displaying an image that made him question his sanity. Before him stood two figures of impossible beauty, their forms shifting between solid and ethereal states. The woman introduced herself as Queen Mirala of Zelora, explaining their situation with a mixture of desperation and regal dignity. Ethan listened intently, his scientific curiosity battling with disbelief as they described Princess Nyra's condition and the unique properties of Zelorian physiology. What truly captured Ethan's attention was the mention of dimensional resonance collapse. He recognized parallels between this concept and certain theories in quantum physics he'd studied during his medical training. The idea that exposure to different dimensional energies could potentially realign a being's quantum state resonated with recent breakthroughs in multidimensional medicine, a field still in its infancy on Earth but one that Ethan had long believed held tremendous potential. The decision to accept the mission wasn't made lightly. The risks were immense. Traveling to an alien world, working with completely unfamiliar biology, and facing potential rejection from a society that viewed humans as primitive. Yet Ethan couldn't ignore the opportunity to push medical science into uncharted territory. Moreover, something in Queen Mirala's voice, a mother's desperate hope, struck a chord deep within him. After ensuring his absence wouldn't disrupt ongoing patient care, he agreed to the journey, knowing that failure could mean the death of a princess and the end of a royal lineage. Preparations for the journey proved as challenging as the mission itself. The Zelorians provided him with a translation device that interfaced directly with his neural pathways, allowing instant comprehension of their language. They also equipped him with a protective suit designed to shield him from the intense radiation of their binary star system. Most crucially, they shared detailed information about Zelorian biology, though much remained theoretical even to their advanced science. As Ethan boarded the sleek spacecraft that would transport him across light years, he felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. The vessel's interior glowed with soft, pulsating lights, its surfaces responding to his touch with gentle ripples of color. Through the viewport, Earth shrank rapidly behind him, its blue-green sphere replaced by the infinite blackness of space dotted with countless stars. The journey would take 3 days, during which time he immersed himself in studying everything available about Princess Nyra's condition, determined to make the most of this unprecedented opportunity to bridge worlds through the universal language of healing. The arrival on Zelora struck Ethan with overwhelming sensory overload. As he stepped from the spacecraft onto a platform suspended above the crystalline sea, the air itself seemed alive with energy, carrying harmonics that resonated through his very bones. The palace loomed before him, its spires refracting light into cascading rainbows that danced across the sky. Courtiers moved gracefully around him, their forms shimmering between solid and ethereal states, creating an effect like living auroras. Despite their evident curiosity about the human visitor, they maintained a respectful distance, their expressions unreadable beneath their translucent features. Queen Mirala and King Solvar greeted him personally, their presence commanding yet tinged with vulnerability. The Queen's eyes, swirling with galaxies, locked onto Ethan's with an intensity that made him feel both insignificant and essential. They led him through corridors that seemed to breathe with life, walls shifting colors in response to their passage. The air carried subtle scents of exotic blooms and charged particles, making each breath feel like inhaling pure possibility. When they finally reached Princess Nyra's chambers, Ethan found himself momentarily paralyzed by the sight of her lying on a bed of light, her opalescent skin dimmed by illness but still radiating an otherworldly beauty. The initial meeting between doctor and patient proved both awkward and profound. Naira regarded him with a mixture of skepticism and hope, her voice carrying melodic undertones that the translator struggled to fully capture. "You are the one who will save me?" she asked, her words laced with both doubt and desperation. Ethan responded with cautious optimism, explaining his approach while trying to mask his own uncertainty. As he examined her using both human medical equipment and Zelorian diagnostic tools, he noticed how her quantum signature fluctuated erratically, like a damaged radio signal. Their interactions gradually evolved from formal medical consultations to deeper exchanges. Naira showed genuine interest in Earth's medicine, asking questions about human anatomy and treatment methods that revealed a sharp, curious mind beneath her royal bearing. In turn, Ethan learned about Zelorian healing practices, discovering that their medicine operated on principles of harmonic resonance rather than chemical reactions. These conversations created an unexpected bridge between their worlds, though cultural differences sometimes led to misunderstandings. When Ethan suggested a particularly invasive procedure, Naira recoiled, explaining that Zelorians considered direct physical intervention deeply intimate, a concept he hadn't initially grasped. Despite these challenges, a tentative trust began to form. Naira started sharing glimpses of her world with Ethan, taking him on brief tours of the floating gardens when her strength allowed. She demonstrated how to interact with the singing plants, showing him how their melodies changed based on emotional intent. In return, Ethan taught her simple earth games and shared stories of human resilience in the face of medical adversity. These moments of connection helped ease the tension of their situation, though the looming threat of failure always hovered nearby. The medical challenge proved far more complex than Ethan had anticipated. Initial attempts to stabilize Naira's quantum signature using modified versions of Earth's electromagnetic therapy resulted in violent energy fluctuations that left her weaker than before. The Zelorian medical team watched these failures with growing concern, their faith in human medicine wavering. Ethan spent countless hours poring over data, comparing Earth's quantum physics theories with Zelorian energy dynamics, searching for common ground between their fundamentally different approaches to medicine. A breakthrough came unexpectedly during one of their shared meals. As Naira demonstrated how Zelorians absorbed nutrients through resonance with specific sound frequencies, Ethan realized the key might lie in combining Earth's understanding of wave interference patterns with Zelorian harmonic principles. Working with the palace's chief scientist, he developed a hybrid treatment protocol that used precisely calibrated sound waves to create standing wave patterns within Naira's energy field. The first test caused visible improvement in her quantum stability, though the effect was temporary. This partial success energized the entire medical team, leading to round-the-clock experimentation. Ethan found himself collaborating with Zelorian healers in ways that blurred the lines between science and mysticism. They taught him to perceive energy flows through meditation techniques, while he introduced them to systematic data analysis methods. The process forced him to fundamentally rethink his approach to medicine, embracing concepts that defied conventional scientific explanation yet produced measurable results. As days turned into weeks, Ethan's presence began subtly altering the palace's atmosphere. Initially met with suspicion by many courtiers, his dedication and innovative thinking earned their respect. Younger members of the royal staff started seeking his advice on various matters, from basic medical knowledge to understanding human culture. The Queen, observing these changes, began including him in strategic discussions about interstellar relations, recognizing the potential for broader cooperation between their species. Naira's condition remained precarious, with periods of improvement followed by sudden setbacks. Each crisis brought Ethan and the princess closer together, their shared determination creating bonds that transcended their different backgrounds. Late-night conversations about life, purpose, and the nature of existence became commonplace, revealing depths to their characters that neither had expected. Ethan found himself drawn to Naira's wisdom and courage, while she admired his relentless pursuit of solutions despite repeated failures. The political implications of Ethan's work grew increasingly apparent. Conservative factions within the court viewed his presence and influence with growing unease, seeing it as a threat to Zelorian purity and tradition. Whispers of discontent spread through the palace corridors, culminating in formal protests from senior council members. They argued that relying on human expertise undermined Zelorian superiority and risked exposing their society to unknown dangers. King Solvar faced mounting pressure to terminate the experiment and find a purely Zelorian solution. These tensions came to a head during a critical phase of treatment. As Ethan prepared to implement a new protocol combining multiple therapeutic approaches, a group of high-ranking officials confronted the royal family, demanding immediate cessation of all human involvement. The argument escalated into a full-blown crisis, with ancient laws and protocols being cited to justify their position. Queen Mirala, torn between tradition and her daughter's survival, found herself questioning centuries-old beliefs about Zelorian exceptionalism. Amidst this turmoil, Ethan received support from unexpected quarters. Younger generation Zelorians, particularly those involved in scientific research, rallied behind his efforts. They organized demonstrations of solidarity, arguing that progress required openness to new ideas regardless of their origin. Some even began incorporating human medical concepts into their own work, demonstrating promising results in unrelated fields. This grassroots movement created a schism within Zelorian society, pitting traditionalists against reformers in a debate that extended far beyond Nyra's treatment. The situation reached a boiling point when evidence emerged suggesting that similar dimensional resonance issues might affect other aspects of Zelorian technology and biology. Conservative elements interpreted this as proof of contamination from human influence, while reformists saw it as validation of their arguments for greater interspecies cooperation. The royal family found themselves at the center of a cultural earthquake, forced to navigate between preserving their heritage and embracing necessary change. Ethan, aware of the political storm swirling around him, doubled down on his work, knowing that success might prove the ultimate argument for collaboration between their worlds. As the political tensions mounted, Ethan and Nyra found themselves drawn into increasingly intimate conversations. Late at night, when the palace quieted and the crystalline gardens hummed with their natural symphony, they would meet in a private observation chamber overlooking the binary stars. Here, free from prying eyes and political pressures, they shared their deepest fears and aspirations. Nyra spoke of her childhood dreams of exploring beyond Zelora's borders, dreams that had been tempered by royal duty but never extinguished. Ethan confessed his own feelings of isolation despite his professional achievements, revealing how medicine had become both his passion and his refuge from personal connections. Their bond deepened through shared moments of vulnerability. When Nyra experienced particularly difficult episodes of her condition, Ethan stayed by her side, holding her hand through the protective field that separated their different biological needs. These moments of physical proximity, though mediated by technology, carried an emotional weight that transcended their species' differences. They discovered common ground in their appreciation for beauty, in Earth's simple sunsets and Zelora's spectacular auroras, and in their mutual fascination with the mysteries of the universe. The relationship evolved naturally, neither of them consciously pursuing romance yet finding themselves increasingly drawn to each other's company. Nyra introduced Ethan to Zelorian art forms, teaching him to manipulate light patterns with his thoughts, while he shared human music and poetry that resonated with surprising clarity through the translation matrix. Their laughter during these exchanges became a precious commodity in the tense atmosphere of the palace, offering brief respites from the weight of expectation and responsibility. However, their growing connection didn't go unnoticed. Court gossip swirled around their frequent meetings, with some interpreting their relationship as a symbol of hope for interspecies understanding, while others saw it as further evidence of Zelorian compromise. The Queen, observing these developments with a mixture of concern and calculation, began considering the diplomatic implications of such a union. Could it serve as a bridge between worlds, or would it create insurmountable divisions within Zelorian society? Ethan wrestled with his feelings, torn between his professional duty and the growing affection he felt for Nyra. He knew that any romantic involvement could complicate his medical judgment and potentially jeopardize his position in the palace. Yet he couldn't deny the comfort and inspiration he drew from their connection, nor the way it seemed to strengthen Nyra's resolve during her treatment. The ethical boundaries blurred further as their personal and professional lives became increasingly intertwined. As the treatment progressed, Ethan implemented a groundbreaking protocol that combined Earth's understanding of quantum entanglement with Zelorian harmonic resonance theory. The process involved creating a stable energy lattice around Nyra's body, using precisely tuned electromagnetic fields generated by devices of both human and Zelorian design. Early results showed promise, with Nyra's quantum signature stabilizing for longer periods than ever before. However, each advancement brought new challenges, requiring constant adjustments to maintain the delicate balance they had achieved. The medical team faced numerous crises during this phase. Several times, Nyra's condition deteriorated suddenly, forcing them to abandon planned procedures and revert to emergency stabilization techniques. These setbacks tested everyone's patience and resolve, particularly when conservative elements seized upon them as evidence of human incompetence. Yet each failure yielded valuable data, leading to refinements in their approach that gradually improved outcomes. Ethan's persistence paid off when they discovered a crucial pattern in Naira's energy fluctuations. By analyzing months of data through both human statistical methods and Zelorian pattern recognition, they identified a cyclical rhythm in her quantum instability that aligned with the rotation of Zelora's binary stars. This revelation allowed them to synchronize treatments with these natural cycles, dramatically increasing their effectiveness. The breakthrough sparked renewed hope throughout the palace, though Ethan remained cautious, knowing how fragile their progress remained. Meanwhile, the political situation continued to evolve in unpredictable ways. The grassroots movement supporting interspecies cooperation gained momentum, organizing peaceful demonstrations and educational initiatives to promote understanding between Zelorians and humans. Young researchers began openly collaborating with Ethan, applying hybrid medical concepts to other fields of study. This cultural shift created both opportunities and obstacles for the treatment, as new ideas flooded in while resistance from traditionalists intensified. The Queen found herself walking a tightrope between these opposing forces. She authorized limited cultural exchange programs with Earth, hoping to demonstrate the benefits of cooperation without appearing to capitulate to reformist demands. These programs brought small groups of human scientists and artists to Zelora, fostering dialogue and mutual understanding. Yet each step forward seemed to provoke equal backlash from conservative factions, who viewed any concession as a threat to Zelorian identity. Within this complex web of medical progress and political maneuvering, Ethan and Naira's relationship continued to develop, though they maintained careful discretion in public. Their private moments became sanctuaries of honesty and vulnerability, where they could discuss their hopes and fears without judgment. Naira shared her growing interest in Earth's diverse cultures, while Ethan expressed his awe at Zelorian achievements in sustainable civilization design. These exchanges enriched their perspectives and strengthened their commitment to bridging their worlds. The treatment entered its final phase with cautious optimism. Ethan proposed a radical procedure that would attempt to permanently realign Naira's quantum signature by creating a sustained resonance field using both human and Zelorian technology. The plan required unprecedented cooperation between their medical teams and carried significant risks, but preliminary simulations suggested it might offer a permanent solution. As they prepared for this critical step, the entire palace seemed to hold its breath, aware that the outcome would shape not just Naira's future but potentially the future of Zelorian-human relations. With the final procedure imminent, the palace transformed into a nexus of heightened activity and suppressed tension. Technicians from both worlds worked around the clock, calibrating equipment and running simulations in preparation for the complex operation. Ethan coordinated with Zelorian energy specialists, their combined expertise creating a hybrid control system that bridged the technological gap between their species. The main treatment chamber, redesigned to accommodate both human and Zelorian requirements, pulsed with a kaleidoscope of lights as final checks were performed on the intricate network of energy fields and electromagnetic generators. Political maneuvering reached fever pitch as factions within the court jockeyed for position. Conservative elements launched a last-ditch effort to halt the procedure, citing ancient laws prohibiting the use of foreign technology in royal medical treatment. Reformists countered with petitions signed by thousands of citizens, arguing that rejecting a potentially life-saving treatment would betray Zelorian values of progress and innovation. The council chambers echoed with heated debates, while outside, crowds gathered in crystalline courtyards, their collective energy creating visible ripples in the atmosphere. Naira herself grappled with conflicting emotions as the day approached. While grateful for the chance at recovery, she worried about the precedent this treatment might set for Zelorian society. Late-night discussions with Ethan explored these concerns, their conversations ranging from philosophical debates about cultural evolution to practical considerations of post-treatment diplomacy. They developed contingency plans for various outcomes, though both avoided dwelling on the possibility of failure. The night before the procedure, an unexpected development threatened to derail everything. A security breach in the palace's data systems revealed classified information about Earth's military capabilities to conservative factions, who immediately used this as evidence of potential danger from human contact. Panic spread through the court, with calls for immediate termination of all human involvement. Ethan found himself facing an emergency council session, where he had to defend not just his medical protocol but the entire premise of interspecies cooperation. Queen Mirala intervened with a bold proposal to broadcast the entire procedure live across Zelora, allowing citizens to witness firsthand the collaboration between their healers and Earth's doctor. This unprecedented move aimed to build public trust while demonstrating the transparency of their intentions. The decision sparked immediate controversy, with traditionalists accusing the royal family of reckless exposure while reformists praised the gesture as a landmark moment in Zelorian history. As dawn broke over the crystalline city, preparations continued amidst this whirlwind of political drama. Ethan reviewed his notes one final time, his human hand steady despite the monumental pressure. Naira joined him in the observation chamber, her quantum signature flickering with both anticipation and anxiety. Together, they watched as technicians completed the final calibrations, the air thick with the charged particles of impending change. The moment of truth approached, carrying with it the weight of two civilizations' futures and the culmination of months of struggle, discovery, and transformation. As the procedure began, the chamber filled with a symphony of light and sound, human technology humming in harmony with Zelorian energy fields. Naira lay at the center, her form bathed in cascading waves of golden light, while Ethan monitored the delicate balance of forces. The air crackled with tension as the resonance field stabilized, her quantum signature flickering before aligning with the hybrid frequency. Outside, millions of Zelorians watched the broadcast, their collective hope palpable even through screens. Conservative voices fell silent as the procedure unfolded flawlessly, the princess's vitality visibly returning. Her opalescent skin regained its glow, and her eyes sparkled with renewed strength. When the final sequence ended, Naira rose, her energy steady and radiant. Cheers erupted across the planet, and even the staunchest traditionalists bowed to the undeniable success. Ethan, exhausted but triumphant, turned to face her, their bond now unshakable. The Queen declared this day a new beginning for Zelorian human relations, announcing formal diplomatic ties with Earth. As Naira stepped forward to address her people, she took Ethan's hand, symbolizing unity between their worlds. Together, they vowed to build a future where differences became strengths, not barriers. In that moment, two civilizations stood on the brink of a shared destiny, their stars aligned by courage, trust, and love. And though challenges surely lay ahead, the light of hope burned brighter than ever before.